Mr. J. Harish Kumar, an astute banking professional, 11 years of experience in various fields of banking, such as credit, foreign exchange, branch operation, NPA management, recovery, cross-selling. He is expert in identifying various financial needs of the MSME business units and providing them with solutions. அப்புறம் he is almost associate of company secretaryship பண்ணியிருக்கார் அவர் ACS. அது தவிர PGDCA qualified, National Stock Exchange certified management market professional NCMP qualified, Insurance Institute of India certified specified person. Presently he is senior branch manager, City Union Bank, Karur branch. He is having 6 Sigma Belt certification from Benchmark 6 Sigma Australia. கராத்தேன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். அவர் அதுல குவாலிஃபைடு 6 பிளாக் பெல்ட் வாங்கியிருக்காரு. he is such a hard person. ஓகே, அப்புறம் முக்கியமா சொல்ல வேண்டியது, he is very much fond of actually lecturing with the students. இது மாதிரி அகடமிக் இதுல சாருக்கு ரொம்ப இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட். அதனாலதான் நிறைய ப்ரோக்ராம் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காரு. அதனால அவருடைய எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ், நாலேஜ், எக்ஸ்பர்டைஸ் நம்ம எல்லாருக்குமே ரொம்ப யூஸ்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கும். We are very much grateful to you, sir, and we are very much proud of having you with us as chief guest, sir. I warmly welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Sitaraman sir. So kind of you for such a wonderful words. Really motivating.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It is indeed my pleasure to addressing August gathering like this, and I am very much privileged and very happy to going to interact with the young Turks and the management gurus of Vellore College of Science and Management. So the today's topic for the discussion, what Sitaraman sir and suggested me is that financing the startups. So let us get into the topic. So sir has given a very nice introduction. So my academic credentials and all everything sir has told given a wonderful introduction. So and I am also like you, I am also a student pursuing CS final. So and now when it comes to Vellore College, City Union Bank and the college has a wonderful bonding. So just to brief about what City Union Bank is, it is a Tamil Nadu based bank started in the year 1904. So our bank has 116 plus years of dedicated service to the nation. We have close to 720 plus branches, including self-service branches, 1,700 plus ATMs, and 770 plus bulk note acceptors. So spread across all the wings throughout the country. You name any major city, we have our branch. Our major focus of branch network falls in Tamil Nadu, especially South India. In that specifically Tamil Nadu. So you can see our branch everywhere. And what is special about CUB? CUB is only few institutions across the world, not only bank, you take in any sector. One of the few institutions wherein existence of 116 plus years and maintaining continuous profitability and dividend declaration. So any business for that matter, the very purpose of starting up a business is to earn profit. So CUB with the dedicated service of the employees and also loyal customers with their blessings, the bank is able to post continuous profitability and dividend declaration throughout all the years. And the bank has grown leaps and bounds with the introduction of technology, So most of the banking services are digitized, except for locker you need to enter the branch, and for any other loan purpose, for documentation purpose you need to visit the branch like Jewel loan and other loans. Except that most of the things has been automated, and staff is involved in direct marketing with the clients at their doorsteps. So that is the order of the day, and we are proud to be on that line. And CUB is the first bank to introduce robot services. So we have introduced robot services in the name of Lakshmi. So wherein customers get their queries addressed, and it is an interacting robot. So I was privileged when I was heading Indira Nagar branch. The first robot was launched in Chennai. That has been inaugurated by our beloved MD Mr. Kamagudi sir. The second and the third robot has been given to my branch at Indira Nagar. So we are digitizing more transactions through alternate channels. We have an excellent interface of internet banking, mobile banking app, payment gateway, and even loans also now automated. And we have chatbot facility also. The customer entering into our website and they want to interact, they can use the chatbot facility for any queries. And I feel proud that CUB is actively participating in CSR activities throughout every year. Major focus was there to cleanse the delta area of Kaveri belt, Tanjavur, Kumbakonam, and other things. We also actually participated in Karur CSR initiatives in Karur also, and donated some battery operated vehicles for waste management to Karur municipality. So it gives me an immense pleasure to talk about my bank. So next, when it comes to bonding with Valluvar College of Science and Management, we are there as a recruiter, having an association for around 5 years. And we could able to see that most of the joinees are industry readiness. That is the speciality about the college. DBF course has been offered, which is equivalent to JAB, passing a JAB after joining a bank, which is very excellent. And only few, I could say, very few institutes have such kind of facility. And in this locality, apart from your college, I don't think any other college has sophisticated with such kind of facility. And most of your alumni members, many of them who have joined our banks, were able to grow up in their career ladder, be it an associate or senior associate, or being an assistant manager, deputy manager, and many people are also serving as heading the branches as a branch manager. Whenever I interact, I used to ask them. Somebody tells me that they are from Karur or they have studied in Karur. I immediately ask them whether are you are sure from Valluvar Institute. That is the greatness about your institute. And I am very fond of your chairman's statement, Mr. Senguttavan sir. Such a visionary. When I was going through his statement, he has stated that going the extra mile is the identity of Valluvar College. And going extra mile means that making special effort to achieve something. In the sense, always going an extra mile is not only for providing quality education, but also making students placed in reputed companies and making them entrepreneurs through its various activities. So I would like to take the last line, and of course, they are giving good placements, but I will take it for the today's topic. I will take it the last line, making the students as entrepreneurs through its various activities. It is today's session is also a part of such a great initiative. Next. So coming to the topic, before starting financing startups, we should know first. We may be knowing what is business. Business simply is called busy with some work or anything. So starting a new business. So there may be a lot of mind blocks and a lot of thoughts when we think of starting a business. most of the culture is that we get into a good institute, we get educated, and we want to join a good organization for employment. So that is the typical way of academic. But whereas your institute has also have entrepreneurship, and under entrepreneurship, one should feel and the privilege of becoming an entrepreneur, and people and young people like you all should aspire for becoming a entrepreneur. You should be in a position to provide jobs rather than becoming a job seeker. So my entire presentation is designed in such a way that most people should like to get into the business. So starting a new business is not a joke. It is like getting into a tropical forest on a treasure hunt, I would say. So in a forest, you know what are all the difficulties that you may face in search of getting into a treasure. So there are rewards to be won. Both can be in material wealth. You may create your aim should be creating a wealth for yourself or for the society, or for a social cause, or even sometimes it can be your personal satisfaction also. So helping the society, building a society, being part of a growth trajectory, and something contributing to the society is a great feeling. I think most of you will cherish in doing such kind of businesses. And on the flip side, there is a risk of loss also. Your capital, you may lose your capital, you may lose your valuable time spending in it, and you may get criticized also. But never bother. We can improve only by making mistakes and making attempts. Unless otherwise you make an attempt, there will not be any failure or success. Once you make an attempt, even if it is a failure or you face any obstacles, it will be a great learning experience, and you can share your experiences and you can overcome the failure by successfully building the strategy. So let us get into how to conceive an idea. Most of you might be thinking job, and many of you preferring entrepreneurship also. So the basic question is, when somebody tells me about business and all, the major problem is how to conceive an idea. So how to get into an idea of a business? எந்த மாதிரி பிசினஸ் எல்லாம் நம்ம பண்ணலாம், எப்படி நமக்கு இந்த பிசினஸ் பண்ணணும்ட்டு ஒரு ஐடியா வரும் அப்படின்ட்டு நீங்க யோசிக்கும் போது, I will just give you some quick examples. So in life we come across many difficulties, and it is said that every difficulty is an opportunity, and it is an success there lies in striking the opportunity. So let us take an example of Uber. So most of you maybe heard about Uber or Ola. So the concept was new when it was introduced. So many people didn't have the luxury of owning a vehicle, and owning a vehicle was a costly affair. Either you have to borrow from bank and purchase a vehicle. That is the most people are doing. No, very few invest in vehicles, and it requires skill also. You need to know how to drive the vehicle, and many busy people feel very difficulty having a driver also. Even though they know they are driving, they cannot drive because they may be getting calls or other distractions, so they avoid, and engaging a driver is also a costly affair. So Uber has come out with an idea. They provided mobile apps, tracking devices, safety, everything they have taken care. And Uber is now such a big organization with great valuation. Next, Swiggy. So who is not fond of Swiggy? Everybody, right from housemaker in a house, or a child, or a bachelor staying in a PG or in a hostel apart from their family, everybody thinks about Swiggy, who delivers food at your doorstep by ordering from your favorite restaurants, and they give choices also. So with a small concept, Swiggy has grown leaps and bounds. Then I can say about the revolutionary payment services, Paytm. We never imagined that payments can be made through mobile phones. The invent of mobile phone and mobile-based applications, the Paytm has grown, like anything. It is commanding greater valuations in the market, and most of the small payments can be done through Paytm. Paytm now you have a bucket of payment options, UPI through which work through UPI based interface, and then urban class. You know the demand for skilled labor like electrician, plumber, and all is a costly affair, and you don't get their appointment so easily. So especially in the metros and in cities, tier 2, tier 3 cities also, they are commanding huge demand. So urban class has tied up with such kind of skilled manpower, providing them the employment opportunity. At the same time, you're getting the providing the good service to the clients. So you can keep on go on adding. So when it comes to service, you can think about cafe coffee day, how the concept has been visualized. And just I would like to quote a local example here. In Karur, how many of you might have thought about purchasing the vegetables online? So when I was in Bangalore, I used to purchase through Big Basket and other apps. I used to order them vegetables and all. It was delivered to my doorstep. So no, Karur I never imagined. So one guy has done that also. JM Vegetables. He is also a young person like you. He has got selected into an major IT firm. Then as an assistant manager, he quit the company, and he made use of the COVID situation, lockdown and all. So people need not get out of their house. They can just get into the website, order the things, and it is delivered with high quality and considerably at a lower rate. And so the conversion of people from conventional buying, it is now getting moved to the online marketing. So you can think about those lines. So the origin for everything is that the pain points. So somebody who feels that pain, or somebody who feels that difficulty, so there lies the opportunity. The difficulties are converted into opportunities, and opportunities, using those opportunities, they have started the business and reaping the benefits. So business idea, thinking about a business idea, you have to conceive an idea, you have to put in a lot of hard work. Now I am not supposed to say hard work, we are supposed to say smart work, and we need to launch the product or service, and then we think about the growth opportunities. In business, you cannot keep quiet in one place. The business need to grow every time. So once your product or service or business is ready, then you can study about the market. While studying the market, there will be always competition. Either you can be monopoly, or you may be competing with the competition. So for competition, there will be always, when you are studying about the competition, you have to study majorly Porter's 5 forces, using the Porter's 5 forces model, which will be very useful. So the first one will be competitive rivalry. Who are all my competitors and what they offer? So that you should know what is their strength, what is their weakness, how better my product can compete in the market. Those things you need to conceptualize and make note of it. Then the bargaining power of the suppliers. So bargaining power of suppliers implies that in some of the industries, The suppliers have a superior power. They dictate the terms because the availability of such material is in lack of availability of such material, or they have through some government incentives and all, they command a good bargaining power, or through excellent quality of a product they command a bargaining power. So you need to study on the bargaining power of the suppliers, and at the same time you also think about the bargaining power of customers. So on what lines customer bargain and where the strength of the customer lies, how you are going to identify a product or a service which meets the expectations of the customer and give them the delight. Customer satisfaction is a gone concept. Now customer delight is reaping the benefits for most of the organizations. So what is that extra mile? As your chairman told that going extra mile, when you're thinking about the satisfaction, customer satisfaction, you have to go an extra mile and give the customer the delight. Then threat of the substitute. If not your product, what other product can substitute the product? Those things also need to be analyzed. And threat of new entrants. You get into a business, you start the business, you grow to some extent, then some other startup or some other person may start the same business, copying your business. Then how you are going to survive? So these 5 things you need to have a clear understanding. Then 4 P's of marketing mix. When you conceptualize a product, there are 4 things while you are strategizing. 4 things you have to, as part of your marketing strategy, 4 things you have to think. One is your product, how superior your product, what are all the qualitative attributes, what are all the quantitative attributes, how it superior to the competitor's product, what the additional offerings. So those things it falls under product. And the other thing is price. How competitive is your price compared to the competitor? Don't think that always offering the product at a lesser price gives a good business. It is not like that. At a even most, and there is a concept also, products price high are sold high also. So that is also there. So pricing, either it should not pull down your sales, and at the same time it should not be not affordable to people. So you have to identify your target audience, and as per the meeting the target audience, you have to fixing the price. So then place, where are you going to market your products, whether it is online marketing or whether it is restricted to a particular place, or whether it is through distribution channel, or how you are going to distribute your products, and what is the place of your selling of your product is also very, very key, essential element. There comes the promotion. How are you going to promote your product, whether it is through advertisement, or whether it is through word of mouth, or whether it is through pamphlets, or whether it is through leaflets, or whether it is through social media. So those things you need to consider. So at this point, I would like each one of you in your own self think about concept, think about a concept, and have a product or service in your mind, so that these things will be far-reaching for you. Then, if somebody thinks about a service, apart from the 4 P's what we have discussed, product, place, price, and promotion, there are people involved and processes involved, and physical evidence plays a vital role. Example of such kind of service offering, I can quote even the bank. In bank we have we may be having a product like ATM card or any loan products or other products, and place we can say the branches. Price we can say rate of interest or processing charge and other things. Promotions like be it a word of mouth, pamphlets, leaflets, TV advertisement, newspaper advertisement, and everything. And people, people is very vital in terms of delivering a service. The people will be construed as the organization. When it comes, banking, delivering a banking service, you think that the frontline staff will be seen as the bank. So people are very essential and very important. And there comes the processes. How simplified your processes are and how precise will have a lot of weightage. Then there comes the physical evidence. When it comes to physical product, people can feel and touch. But whereas in service, they cannot, it is not tangible. So physical evidence plays a vital role. For example, you think about having a cup of coffee in the corner shop, and you can think about having a cup of coffee. Even you pay 200 times or 300 times in a cafe coffee day. How would be the ambience look like, and what are all the facilities that you get? So those things determines the success of the delivering a service. Then continuing with the business plan. Business plan is a document describing a company's core activities, objectives, and how it plans to achieve its goals. It is like a blueprint. So once you have conceptualized the idea, you are ready with your product, and you need to strategize and think about preparing a business plan. Before getting into the business plan, I would like to add something. Once you are ready with the product and you are comfortable with starting up your business, you need to think about how you are going to commence your business, and what would be your constitution of the business. Whether it is you have multiple options. You can start the business as a sole proprietor. You can add a few more people and they can contribute the capital, and you make them as partners, and they can share the responsibility of running your business. You become a part of it. So you think about a partnership firm, and you can even think about HUF, Hindu Undivided Family Business, and you can think about limited liability partnership. Whereas in general partnership, the liability is unlimited, and partners owes to the activities of the partnership firm. In limited liability partnership firm, the liability is limited, and think about a company sort of business. In that, you can think about whether you are going to plan it as a private limited company or public limited company. Being a startup, you can think about on these lines. Once you become bigger and bigger, when your capital needs are more, when you are reaching far more turnover and all, you can think about going for the public, for mobilizing the capital, and think about listing also. So basically, we can think about sole proprietorship, partnership, and the decision of starting a business in these lines. Deciding the constitution of the business is very vital, because there are plenty of tax plans you can make it, so that you can reduce the taxes. You can reduce the compliances. So all those things you can think about, and you can decide about a constitution of your business. So once you decide the constitution of your business, considering all the tax planning and compliances with law, then you have to go for registration of the business, like GST, Shop and Establishment Act, and the industry in which you belong. There are industry specific registrations you need to do. Those things you have to get it done. Like for example, if somebody is aiming for a export oriented business, they need to get the IE code, that is the import and export code from the DGFT, Director General of Foreign Trade. They have to apply and get the license. And somebody would like to start a business in the field of food industry, they need to get the FSSAI certification, Food Safety and Security Authority of India. they need to get the certification. And so once you are done, all done with this, then what is the purpose of preparing a business plan? Let us get into deep into it. In the business, preparing a business plan is very, very vital aspect when you approach for financing with banks, or when you present it to the investors. There are various source and means where you can raise the funds. You can raise the funds from your own sources if you are capable of doing so. And most of the problem with the startups is that getting finance for the project is a hurdle. So once you prepare a excellent business plan with a high degree of conviction about your business, then getting the finance is easier. So on the basis of the project report, the bank being involved in funding for various sectors, we know the market scenario also. So based on that, banks will make you come out with some calculations. Bank will make some calculations, like you may project 10 crores, but bank may accept 8 crores. That is called as accepted turnover. So bank will make necessary calculations, and we will compute various ratios, and we will check about the financial viability and feasibility of the project, whether this business can get into profits. See, the aim of bank or any financial institution for that matter is that providing a finance, you need to make best use out of it, and you need to make a good business out of it, and you need to earn profit, and the repayment of the bank has to be made out of the profit. So that is the aim of any bank or financial institution while funding for the project. So what are all the elements you need to furnish in a business plan for financing? One is you need to have the executive summary, and you need to provide all the project details and promoters details. If it is a sole proprietorship, you need to tell about the experience of the sole proprietor. If it is a startup, what is your academic credentials, and how capable you are into running the business successfully, and what is the market study that you have made, what is the industry scenario, what is the percentage of growth that you can expect in the industry, what is the product offerings in the industry, how you are formed a strategy to meet the industry. So under market study, meeting the market demand, you can think about various strategies. It can be your what we say operational strategy. It can be your operational strategy, say manufacturing a product at a lower cost compared to the other competitors, using superior technology, or coming out with a add-on product and other things. All comes under operational strategies. You can think about marketing strategies also. One of the marketing strategies is getting into online marketing, like registration with Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra. So many things. You can formulate your own operational strategies and marketing strategy, and even financing strategy will also plays a crucial role. People with higher margin, they are not able to leverage the bank finance. They get a lesser rate of return when it compared to the people with who has leveraged their balance sheets with bank finance to a considerable extent, and thereby they are growing the business using the economies of scale. So when you produce a large amount of quantity of the same product, the cost per product comes down. That is the concept behind economies of scale. Most of you might be very well versed with that. Then what is the total project cost? How to determine the project cost? So when you are after concepting the idea and ready with the product, you have to think about how am I going to manufacture the product, and you are thorough with your strategies. Now it's time to decide on the cost. So under project cost, you can think about generally there will be cost of purchasing the machineries, and uh, and working capital requirement. So these two things will form part of your project cost. Sometimes it may even acquiring the fixed assets, like you may purchase a land for putting up of your plant. uh, what could be the cost for that? So all the costing things for in terms of capital expenditure, it should be form part of your project cost. And what is the finance structure that you are going to get? And what is your desired level of providing the margin? Generally, as a thumb rule, 25% margin is insisted among all the banks, and it varies, depends upon the scheme wherein you are getting the funding and all. The list of schemes I will be sharing at the end of the presentation. So financial projections. Uh, what is the level of sales that you are looking to achieve? And if you are achieving that level of sales, what would be your cost and what would be your income, and how your business will be looking like in a future date. Say you are starting a business today, we would like to see after 1 year how your business would be looking like. So it is like your dream. You dream of a thing and you make projections, and with I would suggest you make a conservative projection. Always things will not go one way. There will be hurdles and there will be setbacks. Even then, how you are going to achieve your desired results. So make these things as part of your financial projections, and then ratios will be calculated. Sensitivity analysis. Sensitivity analysis, under this, I would like to say that, say your capacity is at 100%. It is very rare and very highly proficient and excellent management skills and things required to achieve the 100% capacity utilization. So even if you operate at a 50% capacity utilization, whether you will be able to service the debt, and whether you will be able to make profits, and what is the level of profits that you are going to make, and all those things you can work under sensitivity analysis. At 50% capacity, at 60%, 70%, 80%, 90%, like that you can make multiple analysis. And risk analysis. What are all the various risks that your business may come across? Say for example, you construct a building. The building is prone to risk, like it may get catched with, it may get fire, it may get due to earthquake, it may get demolished. So you identify the risk, and even there may be a defect in your product. How you are going to mitigate those risks? So you can either, if it is too risky and there is no solution for you to mitigate the risk or limit the risk, you can avoid such kind of risk. Wherever there is tools to reduce the risk, you make use of the them, like getting insured for your vehicle. There is a risk of getting into accidents, so or your own damage. So you can opt for insurance. Like that, there are plenty of risk mitigation tools available. And competitive analysis, we have in detail we have discussed about Porter's 5 forces model. Then the SWOT analysis. What are all your strengths and what are all your weaknesses? What are all the opportunities that you are foreseeing in the industry? What are all the threats that you can get in the industry? So you always build your should aim to build your strengths, to make use of the opportunities and grow further, and also to combat the threats. And you always try to minimize the weaknesses to avoid threats. So then the proposed term sheet. What is the term for repayment of the loan and other things? So there are two things as we discussed while you financing a startup or business. One is your own capital. The other thing is getting finance from bank or other financial institution. or borrowing from your own friends or relatives, which is, at times it may become a costly affair. But whereas in terms of banking requirement, there are two things. One is we can fund for term loan. So what are all the fixed assets that you are going to acquire out of as part of your project? You can approach the bank for a term loan requirement. We will be requiring the cost and means of financing. So what is the machineries or fixed assets that you are going to purchase? What is the value of that machineries? How much money you will be bringing to purchase that machineries or asset, and how much you will be looking for a bank loan, and how you are going to repay the principal along with interest. There is a term called a moratorium period when you purchase a machinery till installation and then erection and commercial production. During that period, you can opt for a moratorium wherein you need to pay only interest portion of the loan. The EMI will commence once the commercial production is started and you are started earning. You are making sales rather than making sales. So profitability projections will give us an indication as to your repayment capability, and you need to submit the cash flow estimate and the project along with the projected balance sheet. In case of term loan, you need to provide the balance sheet till such time of your completion of the loan, term of the loan. Then working capital assessment. Sir, I have decided the product, I have made all the analysis, I have find out the cost of the project, cost of the machineries and other equipment, land and everything. Now, how do I run the day-to-day operations of the business? That is a big question. So for day-to-day operations and day-to-day manufacturing activity and other activities, we can work on working capital assessment. So for that, you need to decide on the operating cycle. How am I going to procure my raw materials?
Sir?
So what is time? You need to always have a buffer stock, and you cannot be always relying upon the sourcing the raw material as and when required. So it depends upon various factors. What is the distance from sourcing the raw material from your place, availability of raw material, all those things makes a place. So you need to think about whether I should keep 15 days of raw material as buffering stock, or 20 days, 30 days. Those things you have to work in. And then you need to think about how many days it will take me to get the product, get the finished product. Sometimes, the one whole day product will be lying in the under process. And 2-3 days it may take to get the finished product. In Karur, if I see, I am seeing a lot of textile companies wherein they procure the raw material, like they procure yarn and they procure the thread and everything. Then they go for dyeing and other various value-added things they do it. So for them to get the raw material to work in progress, it takes 60 days. Generally 60 days to 90 days it takes. Then they prepare the final product, like stitching and other things. They make the final product. Once they make the shipment, then they will give certain credit period to the their buyer. Say 60 days credit, 90 days credit. It depends upon whether you are going to sell on cash and
Continues.
in a petrol bunk. You will see that there will not be much of a receivables, because when you go and make your tank filled, carry business. So how many days or what is the time period that you provide them for making payment of the value of goods or value received? That determines the overall operating cycle from raw material acquiring raw material to collection determines the operating cycle. Operating cycle of the business we have discussed. Now getting into the how we are going to fund the working capital. So for every project there will be margin, and in working capital also you need to provide your margin. So working capital finance has of two types. One is fund-based financing, and another one is non-fund based financing. Example, you get fund for your purchasing your raw materials and other value-added products for manufacturing, And after sales also you can get the, you submit your bills to the accepted bills to the bank from the buyer of the bills, and you can get it financed. 85% of the bills also you can finance. Say for example, you have supplied goods to a person for 2 lakh rupees, and he is insisting for time period of credit period of 60 days. You want to get the funds for smooth functioning of your business, and you are in urgent need, you can get the bills financed also. And the other way of funding is non-fund based finance. You can see, letter of, you can think about letter of credit, wherein you may be importing a machinery from abroad, and both the buyer and seller may not have confidence whether the product will come as per the specification, whether the buyer will make the payment. So those confusions you can avoid while you are going for a letter of credit. Bank will, on behalf of you, bank will give an undertaking to the seller of the product that upon realization, upon receipt of the product by the client, on behalf of the client, if everything is in specific as per the specification, bank is undertaken to make the payment to the supplier. And the other one is bank guarantee. Bank guarantee is of 2-3 types. Major thing is that financial bank guarantees, which accommodates the financial soundness of a person. If the client doesn't make good the payment, the bank undertakes to make good the payment. If in performance bank guarantee, if the client doesn't perform the contract or service as per the specifications with their contract authority, the bank will make good the loss. So we think about financial ratios as part of our business plan. We have discussed about various ratios also. Few of the important ratios I have shared here: debt equity ratio, debt service coverage ratio. Debt equity ratio implies how much is your own money and how much is the borrowed money. And debt service coverage ratio implies your ability to service the debt, that is making payment of EMI and interest. And the tangible net worth to outside liabilities. Profit to sales ratio, how much profit you will earn, percentage of profit out of the total sales. So that is also a key component. And current ratio is also vital. Current ratio is current assets and divided by current liability. And break-even point, management evaluation, technical feasibility, and all we have discussed. So break-even point, what is the percentage of sales you have to, what is your capacity utilization, and at what level you can achieve the break-even. The break-even point is where there is no profit or no loss. So once you cross the break-even point, you start realizing the profit. So then there comes the primary thing, very important thing, security aspect. So when it comes to banking, we generally ask for what is the primary security and what is the collateral security. In case of CC accounts and all, we can take the stock and debtors as the primary security, and collateral like residential building, residential site, or commercial building. So your plant, factory, those things can be taken as primary and collateral security. And also at times we may insist for guarantee from third parties, like guarantee from partners, promoters, and husband and wife. Then corporate guarantee also we may insist on. So now we have discussed about product and how you are going to make a business plan. Now what is essential is that to get a bank finance, your project has to be a bankable project. So when you come for a personal discussion with the banker, we look into various aspects. Of course, we get into detail about your papers that you submit. Apart from that, we think about generally 5 C's of credit. What is the character that you are showcasing, and we make a lot of cross verifications also. So whether the character of the person approaching for credit is found, whether he is having a good character, and what is his capacity, whether he can able to convince me that he is capable of running the business and becoming successful, and what is the collateral security that they can offer if there is in case of failure or in case of drawbacks. What is the, how we are going to as a bank or financial institution, how we are going to recover the money, because banks and institutions deal with public money. We need to safeguard that. And what is the capital that he brings in? Say if the project is 1 crore, if a person bringing just 5 lakhs and asking for 95 lakhs of credit, it determines that he is he wants to ride his luck on the finance of the bank, not out of his money. So capital is also plays a crucial role. And another one, I should say, you can say it as either cash flows or even the conditions. And what conditions and what are all the terms and conditions of the loan. And the other way you can think about cash flows. How frequent you will be getting the cash, or how shorter his operative cycle, and those things will determine the bankable project. Once your project, you convince the bank manager and the management that your project is a bankable project, and your idea is a better one which yields the results, then getting finance is not that difficult. So once you are prepared with everything, so what are all the you prepared the project report, you have an excellent idea which is workable proposition. So what are all the other things that you need to submit to your bank for availing the credit facility? Say when you are going for a term loan, you need to provide us the quotation for in case you are going to construct a factory shed or factory building, you need to get the approval from the relevant authority for construction, like approval from inspector of factories boiler for layout approval of the plant. Then you need to submit the estimate for construction. What would be the estimate? How much it requires? What is the part of civil work and electrical work and other things? Then you need to provide the quotation for the machinery. You have to get the quote from the seller of the machinery suppliers, and provide the quote. What is the amount including GST? How much it is breakup and all those particulars, and the machinery specifications. Then you need to submit the financial papers of your concern. If it is a proprietary concern, you have any prior experience, or you are already an IT SSC, you need to submit your IT returns and other financial papers. If it is in case of a startup and you are not assessed to tax, then in all the things you can submit is the projected financial position of your company. Then various registrations, what we have discussed. Whether you are registered with the GST, you can provide the GST certification. If you are registered with relevant authorities like food safety, and if it is a civil contractor, whether you are registered with the government, whether it is class 1, like that, you can submit the relevant registration certificate. And once you submit all the particulars, and bank will also ask for a asset liability statement of yours. What are all the assets that you are possessing, and what are all the loans and liabilities you have made. So those particular, you need to be absolutely very clear and transparent in sharing your details. You should not hide things. So banking and financing is almost based on trust, and you should be in a position to build the trust, and the trust should not be broken. And once the bank officials go through your the paper submitted, we may call for additional information and additional documents for sanctioning the loan. So you need to, while you are preparing your financial projection, you have to provide the full disclosure of information, so that both you have an idea about what you are doing, and also you should be convincing the banker about your project. Then there are various loan schemes. that I have already told you that I will be sharing at the end of the presentation. There are various loan schemes. Never bother about getting struggled. You can think that there are plenty of opportunities, and government is pushing like anything. They want to want India to be a better place and compete in the global market. And the concept of make in India has reached far greater heights. Still, there are many ways to go. Government has provided the Mudra scheme where you can get loans up to 10 lakh rupees. There are various schemes of SIDBI, the Small Industries Development Bank provides a lot of schemes for financing. There is a Stand Up India scheme, Startup India scheme. There are loans of PSB loans in 59 minutes launched by our Honorable Prime Minister of India. And there are various schemes for NABARD. If you think about agriculture activities and you want to dwell upon it, you can approach NABARD. They assist in many ways. Not only financing for your project, they assist for marketing and they assist for skill development also. And there is a National Horticulture Board. They also have various schemes under National Horticulture Scheme, and they provide a lot of subsidies and all. And there is a food processing scheme under the Ministry of Food Processing, and schemes for various clusters. Shruti, MSME solar schemes also there. It is for regeneration of traditional industries. And the SIDBI schemes also I told you, the credit guarantee scheme and all fall under SIDBI scheme. And there is a wide scope under rural and village industry scheme, wherein government provides subsidy. In PMEGP, the subsidy ranges from 15% to 35% of your project cost. There is a scheme for UIEGP also. PMEGP is Prime Minister's Employment Generation Program. As part of the program, you may set up your plant to start initially and get the benefit of 25 to 35%. The project cost, the maximum project cost under PMEGP is 25 lakhs. And in Karur, I could see many people are getting benefited out of this PMEGP. They provide a small security to the tune of around the same thing, and they get the subsidy 25%. In case of female candidates and people belong to backward communities, they are eligible for 35% of the project cost subsidized by the government. So it is a wonderful scheme. There is UIEGP scheme also, and there is NEET scheme also. Under PMEGP, if it is sole proprietorship, you can apply. If it is NEET, if it is proprietor and other concerns, you need to opt for NEET scheme. So these schemes are PMEGP and other schemes are built through KVIC and also DIC, District Industries Corporation. Those people can guide you in that also. So once you approach a bank and they get convinced, and you can make queries about the scheme, and we will be very much interested in guiding you and providing you the network to reach the correct people to get the subsidy also. And there are schemes like Aspire, schemes like Shruti, PMEGP we have discussed, Janashri Bima Yojana for Khadi artisans, and there are schemes for NABARD will provide for market development assistance also. For coir industry, there is a scheme called Remote. There is a scheme called CSS, centrally sponsored schemes of export market promotion from this one. Then skill upgradation and quality improvement, Mahila Coir Yojana. For women entrepreneurs, they have a Mahila Coir Yojana program. So with this, we are completing our presentation. Just to recap on what we have discussed. So how we are going to start a new venture, how to conceive the idea. Then we have looked at what is the purpose and how important is creating a business plan. As part of competitive rivalry, we have discussed about Porter's 5 forces model. Then we have discussed about 4 P's for product and 7 P's for service. And what are all the elements of the business plan? and how to prepare a bankable project, where we have seen the importance of 5 C's of credit. Then we have discussed about financing various credit facilities, how you can get a term loan, how to prepare for that, and how you are going to get a working capital financing, what are all the key financial ratios, and the importance of security, and what are all has to be annexed to your project report, and the various loan schemes we have discussed. So with this, I thank you for giving me an opportunity. Now, Sitaraman sir. Sir? Hello? Hello? Hello, sir? Hello? Hello? Sir, now it is time for Q&A session, sir. Sir? Sir? Hello?
Sir, thank you, sir.
Sir, we can have a Q&A session, sir.
Sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Students, any doubt? Please ask your question. Gunalan, and then any student? Students, kindly சொல்லுங்க குணாலன், எனி டவுட் இருந்தா கேளுங்க.
சார், இந்த வேரியஸ் டைப் ஆஃப் த லோன்ஸை பற்றி கொஞ்சம் திரும்ப எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ண சொல்லுங்க சார்.
வேரியஸ் லோன்ஸ் அப்பா. ஹலோ?
ஆமாங்க சார். ஆமாங்க சார்.
அதாவது நீங்க நம்ம இங்க தமிழ்நாடு பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் இப்போ வந்து ஈஸியா நீங்க ஈஸியா சப்சிடி கிடைக்கிற ஸ்கீம்ஸ் பாத்தீங்கன்னா PMEGP வந்து ரொம்ப பிரமாதமா பண்ணி கொடுத்துட்டு இருக்காங்க. டிஸ்ட்ரிக்ட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரியல் கார்பரேஷன்ல இருந்து இந்த பேங்க்ல இருந்து நிறைய PMEGP லோன் ஸ்கீம்ல வந்துட்டு நிறைய நானும் பண்ணி கொடுத்துருக்கேன். நிறைய நல்லா பண்றாங்க. அதாவது வந்து ப்ராஜெக்ட் காஸ்ட் வந்து சின்ன சைஸ்ல இருந்து 25 லட்சத்துக்குள்ள இருந்ததுன்னா உங்களோட மார்ஜின் வந்து 5% தான். 95% வரைக்கும் பேங்க் ஃபைனான்ஸ் பண்ணும். ஸோ அதை பேஸ் பண்ணி சூட்டபிள் கொலாட்டரலை பேஸ் பண்ணி நீங்கள் அதில் அவைல் பண்ணிக்கலாம். டிஐசிலேருந்து வந்து சப்சிடி வந்து டைரெக்டாக பேங்க்குக்கு வந்து ரிலீஸ் பண்ணி கிரெடிட் பண்ணிடுவாங்க. அது வந்து உங்கள் லோனுக்கு வந்து அட்டாச் பண்ணிடுவாங்க. இந்த சப்சிடி அமௌண்ட் என்ன வருதோ அது போக மீதி அமௌண்ட்டுக்கு மட்டும் நீங்கள் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் பே பண்ணுற மாதிரி இருக்கும். ஒன்ஸ் நீங்கள் வந்து சக்ஸஸ்ஃபுல்லாக வந்து 3 இயர்ஸ் வந்து உங்களோட ப்ராஜெக்டை கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா அந்த சப்சிடி அமௌண்ட்டை வந்து பேங்க் லோனில் கழிச்சிட்டு மீதி அமௌண்ட்டு உங்கள் லைபிலிட்டியாக இருக்கும். நீங்கள் ஈஸியாக க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிடலாம். ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி வந்துட்டு இது வந்து ஜென்ரலாக என்ன பிஸ்னஸ் ஆக்டிவிட்டி நீங்கள் பண்ணாலுமே இந்த ஸ்கீம் அப்ளிகபிளாக இருக்கு PMEGP. இது தவிர வந்துட்டு அன்எம்ப்ளாய்டு யூத் எம்ப்ளாய்மெண்ட் ஜென்ரேஷன் ப்ரோக்ராம் இருக்கு. அதுல நீங்க எடுத்துக்கலாம். நீட்ஸ்ன்ட்டு ஒரு ஸ்கீம் இருக்கு, நியூ என்டர்பிரனர் டெவலப்மெண்ட் ஸ்கீம்ன்ட்டு, அதுல வந்து நீங்க எடுத்துக்கலாம். இந்த மாதிரி ஒவ்வொரு இண்டஸ்ட்ரிக்கும் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி ஸ்பெசிபிக் ஸ்கீம்ஸ் வந்து நிறைய இருக்கு. PSB லோன் ஸ்கீம் இருக்கு, ஃபுட் ப்ராசஸிங் இண்டஸ்ட்ரிக்கு செப்பரேட்டா ஸ்கீம்ஸ் இருக்கு, நாபார்ட்ல ஸ்கீம்ஸ் இருக்கு, அப்புறம் வந்து காயின் இண்டஸ்ட்ரிக்கு தனியா ஸ்கீம்ஸ் இருக்கு, ஹார்டிகல்ச்சருக்கு தனியா ஸ்கீம்ஸ் இருக்கு. ஸோ நீங்கள் இந்த ஸ்கீம்ஸை பற்றி நிறைய தெரிஞ்சுக்கலாம்னா நீங்கள் ப்ரௌஸ் பண்ணி பார்க்கலாம். இல்லை வேறு ஏதாவது டவுட்ஸ் இருந்தாலும் கேட்கலாம். ஐ வில் பி ப்ளீஸ் டு ஷேர் வித் சீதாராமன் சார் ஆல்சோ.